Hello, my name is Jacob Monk, and welcome to this short program about the homoculture in Copenhagen, Denmark. Well, I'm not a homosexual. To be honest, I don't like homosexual culture. I think that man and woman are created for each other. I think that when you do sex, two men with each other or two women, it's some kind of perversity. I'm quite sure if you are a male homosexual, you are in the risk of being contaminated or infected by AIDS. But this is not a proof that God did not intend human beings to be homosexual. Actually, there is no proof that God did not intend human beings to be homosexual. The only proof is that if you're homosexual, you won't get any children. And if you won't get any children, then your genes will not prevail to the future generations. That means the homosexual culture is again and again destroying itself. And I know that we've had homosexuals for thousands and probably millions of years. Homosexuality is a part of the human sexuality. When you see in prisons and in military camps, there is a certain level of homosexual activity. But as soon as men and women has the ability to get in contact, to marry and to do sex with the other sex, men with women and women with men, then that is usually what they choose. And that is the best, because then you can have children. And the purpose of men and women being together and marry each other, it is to have children. I think children, it is a gift from God. God, He gives you a part of His own ability to create. He can create human beings, and you can create human beings too by having children. So therefore, I don't like homosexuality. I don't care about if people are homosexuals. They can do what they want as long as they do it in private, in their own homes, in their own clubs. But as soon as they try to convert the rest of us to be homosexuals too, then I think there is something wrong, because it can never be an ideal to be homosexual. I think the ideal is to do normal sexual activity in marriage, that is, to live the way that human beings in all recorded history has been living. I think homosexuality is a perversion, and I think and I know that your risk of having an unhappy life, to commit suicide, to get diseases, your risk for having these incidents in your life, it is quite a bit higher if you practice homosexual activity. That is not something I wish. That is something I know, because I can read statistics, and I know from many sociological surveys that has been made about this subject. And therefore, I don't like the leadership in our country and also the Obama administration in USA to promote homosexuality. You know, every year when we have these gay parades in American and NATO countries, all the big cities, including Copenhagen, we have gay parades every year. And today we have this gay parade in Copenhagen. And therefore you can see the papers, they look like this. This is a free paper that everyone can take for free when they go by train or by bus in Copenhagen. It is called Metro Express. You see here on the front page, on the cover, they have the gay colors. And inside you will read a lot of articles about gay culture. Copenhagen is hit by the rainbow culture. The rainbow culture, that's what gay people call their own culture, because they say, oh, we are so diversified. We want people to be free, and therefore we promote gay culture, because when gay culture is legal, then every kind of perversion is legal. And I don't think that is a good thing. Here you can read on page 4, the last 2 years, more than 400 Danes has choose to change their sex. That means to have an operation so a man can feel like a woman, or maybe a woman feel like a man. I think normally it's men trying to be women. I don't know what kind of success they can have with this effort. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I don't like even to think about it, and I certainly don't like to look to people, men who are dressed up like women and trying to copy women and pretend to be women. I think that is really disgusting. But this is a part of the gay culture, and the gay culture is one symptom of the dissolution of the Western culture. Once the Western culture was a Christian and a moral culture, then we had the Reformation telling that everything we learned from the Catholic Church, it was wrong. There is nothing like good and bad. That's what Martin Luther told us. There's nothing like good and bad. Then we had the French Revolution telling us that the church is evil. We want to run everything ourselves. There is no morality coming from God, and Jesus is only a fictional figure. This has been extended until today, where a lot of perversities are totally legal and promoted as being normal in the television channels in all the NATO countries, that is, all the countries dominated by American Jewish culture. There is 100% identity between the cultures where they have gay march every year and the cultures where they have Holocaust exhibitions and holidays every year. Holocaust days to remember what happened in Holocaust. They are exactly the same places and the same countries where they're trying to promote homosexuality. And that's why I want to end this little video with a question to you. Here in Denmark, in the USA run by Obama and the so-called Democrats, also in other countries where they once back in history had a Christian culture. In Denmark we had Christianity run in Denmark until 1536. Then we had Reformation and Lutheranism, which is something totally different from Christianity. And now we come to the question. The question is, why is it the same countries? And I challenge you to find out yourself. You can use the internet, you can look it in the papers, you can call in your friends in other countries, you can travel around. Why is it the same countries where they feel that the most holy day in the year is the day where you remember the Holocaust and the 6 million dead Jews? They are exactly the same places where they every year, and also, of course, not only once a year, but every day, promote homosexual culture. Can you give me an explanation? I think I have an explanation myself, but what is the reason that Jewish religion and homosexual culture is living the same places and promoted by the same people? Thank you for listening.